So, hi, team. Good morning, everyone.
Recording in progress.
So, hi, good morning, everyone. Team, in the last session, we discussed some Oracle built-in functions, through by class, having class, order by class. These are the last session we completed. And today, today we try to discuss about one concept. That is, guys, constraints topic. Today, we'll discuss constraints. Constraints. See, what is a constraint? What are the types of constraints are supported by Oracle database today? So generally in English word, what is the meaning of constraint? Constraint is a condition. Constraint is a condition or rule. Okay? Constraint is a condition or rule. Yes. Means on database columns. Database table columns means like employee ID, employee name, or customer ID, customer name, or account number, customer name, account type. These are the some database columns. On these columns, if you try to add some rules, according to client requirement, according to client requirement to add rules to database columns. The rules are called as constraints. 90% rules are supported by constraints. 80%. 80% rules are supported by constraints. Remaining 20% rules are supported by triggers. Triggers. It is a PLS skill concept. Okay. We discussed later about that triggers concept. Fine. But what are the rules? What are the rules? Right, guys. Now, what are the rules? Suppose so, if you take one table, employee table, we have the different columns. What are the columns are there? Employee number, okay, employee name, salary, date of joining, department number. We have some database columns. So, guys, is there any rules are required on these database columns? Generally, we have some common rules. Everybody know these rules. If you don't have Oracle, no problem. If you don't have Oracle, also you can assume the rules. On these columns, what are the rules? No common rules. First one is employee ID column. What is the employee ID column? The employee number should be or should not be accept duplicates. Right or wrong? In the organization, the employee number should be unique, no? It's not a duplicate. Right. This is one of the validation. Salary. Minimum starting salary is 15,000 rupees. In the organization, minimum starting salary is what? 15,000 rupees. This is the one of the validation. Date of joining column, we have a validation. Date of joining. We'll take today date. Department numbers validation is it should be accepted. 10, 20, 30, 40. So these are the conditions on our database columns. Right or wrong? According to your application requirement, you say some conditions, validations to client developer. You are a client. You are developing, means you are ready to develop the application. So you say to developer, so these are my conditions. Please satisfy these conditions. While inserting data, suppose by mistake I try to duplicate employee number, it should not be accepted. It should not be accepted. This is same like remaining also. Right, guys? So to satisfy these validations, then constraints are supported. That is the meaning of constraints. See, what is the meaning of constraint? Constraint is a predefined rule. Constraint is a predefined rule. That rule is applied on database columns at the time of table creation or after table creation. Constraint is a rule or condition. That rule is applied in database columns at the time of table creation or after table creation. You can apply the rules. Right. Okay. On employee ID column, add one rule. Suppose what the rule? Should not be accept duplicates. Add one rule. Add one constraint added. Okay. Table is created. I want to check it out. What I add the rule. What I add the rule. I want to check it out. Is it working properly or not? How can I check? How we can check now? At the time of inserting data, you should be insert the data. At the time of inserting data, if you try to input duplicate employee ID, at the time Oracle returns error message. Yes, your constraint is working properly. At the time of inserting, you are giving duplicate employee number. Suppose when Oracle returns error message, yes, the tool is working properly. If it is working, it is inserted, means the tool is not working. Right or not? So that is what you say that now constraints are activated or raised whenever DML operations are performed. We know DML operations. What are the DML operations, guys? Insertions, updations, deletions. These are the DMLs. Insert, update, delete. Not only insert, either update, either delete also. Next one is constraints are also activated when the tables are manipulated by other users or by other application software tools. Functions are activated when the tables are manipulated by other users. When the tables are manipulated by other users. My username is ORA7AM. My username is ORA7AM. In my user, employee table is there. In employee table, employee number condition is there. Duplicates are not accepted. My table granted to my colleague. My table granted to, I give the permission to my colleague to access my table. Now my colleague is inserting data. By mistake, he is trying to insert duplicate record. He also got the error message. He also got the error. That means if anybody access my table, if they are inserting duplicate value, again, they also got the error message. That is called constraints are activated when the tables are manipulated by other users or by other application software tools. So other application software tools means different types of front-end applications. Suppose you are developing one application, banking application. The front-end designing developed by using HTML. Okay. So you try to log into net banking. You are inputting username, password, click on the login button. That is the front-end application. Suppose you want to create one Gmail account. Suppose you want to create one Gmail account. At the time of creating Gmail account, you try to give Gmail ID. If it is not there in the database server, then your Gmail new user ID is accepted. Otherwise, if you give Gmail ID, system raise error message already exists. Why returns error message? How it is means what you are creating new Gmail ID after entering, the request goes to our database. Inside the database, it is checking if it is already there or not. If it is there, our system returns error means already exists. Means inside the database table, Gmail name should be unique. Duplicates are accepted? No. Means you are inserting Gmail ID by using front-end application. Our backend database is not accept duplicates. If it is unique Gmail ID, then only user is created, guys. Otherwise, not created. Means you can create the Gmail by using front-end application. That application designed by using either JavaScript, CSS3, or UI technologies, or AngularJS, or any JSP, or any front-end application, our back-end constraints are supported. That is called other application software tools. Means constraints supported only for front-end JavaScript, CSS only, not like guys. Any front-end tool, our back-end data constraints are supported. This is so constraints are used to restrict user-defined conditions or business rules. What are the constraints main functionality? User-restrict user-defined conditions are business rules. Fine. Right, guys. Now, types of constraints. Types of constraints. types of constraints. Oracle supports 6 types of constraints. So one is not null constraint. Second one is unique constraint. Third one is tick constraint. Fourth one is default constraint. Fifth one is primary key constraint. Sixth one is foreign key constraint, that is called reference. These are the 6 types of constraints supported by our Oracle database. How many types of constraints are there supported by Oracle database? There are 6 types: not null, unique, check, default, primary key, and foreign. Right. So to add a constraint to more than one column is called as composite constraint. To add a constraint to more than one column. I want to add unique constraint to 2 columns. Yes, we can add not only single column, guys. The constraints we can add to either single column or more than one column also. To add a constraint to more than one column is called as composite constraints we can call. Okay. See the syntax. Unique of column 1, comma, column 2. This is a composite. All composite constraints are supported in table level or alpha level. What's the meaning of this one? We'll discuss one by one next. Right. If table contains primary key constraint, the table is called as, if table contains primary key constraint, the table is called as master table. That master is pure master. Means I create our table, guys. The table contains only primary key constraints. There is no other constraints. The table what we call pure master. The table contains primary key, the other constraint. The table is called as master table or parent table or this is. If table contains primary key and other constraints also, the table what we call master, parent or independent. That's why sometimes we are using create a bank master table, create a apply master table. That means the table contains primary key constraint. That's how we can call it. Master table. Okay. Right, guys. Next one is if table contains foreign key constraint, purely detailed table. Here, what I discussed right now here, from these so many questions are coming, guys. Okay, na? From starting to here. From here to what I discussed up to here, approximately 5 to 6 questions are coming. Okay. So if table contains foreign key, and other constraint. The type of table is called as transaction table or child table or dependent table. If table contains foreign keys plus other constraints also, the table what you call transaction, child or independent, dependent. Okay, guys. Now, all created constraint names are stored in user underscore constraints or user underscore constraint underscore columns. This is called predefined table space. Understand, guys? All created constraint names are stored in user underscore constraints. What are the constraints you are created on database columns in future if you want to see? In future, if you want to see, yes, we can see from these tables. These two tables are predefined tables. Predefined means defined by our Oracle database. Okay, na? It is. Right. Okay. So before going to examples, constraints are added to table. There are three methods. Constraint added to table. There are three methods. There are three methods, guys. One is column level. So these are the three methods, guys, to add the constraints to our database tables. Now, to add constraint to any way, either column level or table level or alter level, constraint functionality is same. It cannot be changed. Okay, guys. That is so. Column level. Column level. A constraint is added to next to column name. Next to column name. At the time of inserting data. Sorry, at the time of table creation is called as column level. A constraint is added to next to column name at the time of table creation. At the time of table creation, after declaring column name data type, we can add the constraint. See the syntax to understand. Create table name. We know already this. Of column 1 data type size. This is a common syntax we know already. Column 1 data type size. Now, constraint name, constraint type. This is a syntax column level text. Okay. This is And so on. Bracket close semicolon. This is guys. So constraint is a keyword. It is a keyword. Now this is called constraint name you can give. Constraint name is you can give any name. ABC, XYZ, any name. But what is use of this constraint name? In future, if you want to see constraints created on database tables, now you can see now by using this one. Okay. So by using this name, we can easily find out on which column, which table constraint is added. We can understand easily. This is called naming convention. Okay, guys. That. Right. What about this constraint type? Unique, not null, check, primary key, foreign key? That one you can declare here. Okay. And here constraint name should be unique. Should be unique. Here constraint name should be unique. Right. Right, guys. This is. Here constraint name should be unique. Right, guys. This is a column level. Guys, you have any doubt? Ask me, guys. I can explain. Okay. If you are any confusion, ask me. Next method is table level. Constraints are added. Constraints are added after declaring all columns at the time of table creation. Is called as table level constraints. Constraints are added after declaring all columns at the time of table creation. Means I want to create the table, suppose. First of all, what are the columns are required? First, I declare all columns. I declare all columns here, I declare. Okay. After declaring all columns, guys, column 1, column 2, column 3, how many columns are required? All columns you can declare. Lastly, we can add the constraints, guys. Constraint type of column 1, column 2, and so on. This is, guys. First to declare the columns. Lastly, we can add the constraints to above columns. We can add constraint name, constraint type of column 1, column 2, and so on. That is okay. Okay, guys, this is. But here you can add constraint to either single column or group of columns also you can add. But group of columns are optional. Okay. See, to add a constraint to more than one column, what you call to add a constraint to more than one column is called as composite. All composite constraints supported in table level, alter level, na? Yes, this is the table level. But in above syntax, what happens? This constraint belongs to column 1 only. This constraint belongs to column 2 only. But right now here, not like. On above columns, either single column or group of columns, we can add the constraints. Right, guys. Third one is alter level. Alter. Alter level means after table creation. After table creation, to add the constraints to database is called as alter level constraints. My table is created. Either today created, yesterday, day before yesterday, 1 month back, 1 year back. On that existing table columns, I want to add some constraints. Yes, it is compulsory, na? Because right now at the time of developing, client is not saying some validations. He is not saying any validation. We develop the application, but after developed application, again he had some rules he want to add. But table has created already data. Or how it is possible means, yes, it is possible by using alter method. It is possible. What is the syntax? Alter table. Alter table, add or modify. Constraint name, constraint type of column. It is similar to table level method. It is similar to table level method. Create table name, add or modify. Constraint name, constraint type of column 1, column 2, and so on. Right, guys. This is example. Here also optionals. Here also optionals. Alter table name, add or modify, constraint name, constraint type of this one. So these are the different ways to add the constraints to database columns. Okay. But from these syntaxes, constraint name is optional, not a mandatory. It is optional case. But once you get the constraint name, that is a good practice. And also in real time, compulsory. Here, optional, no problem at all. But in real time now, compulsory, you should be give the constraint name, mandatory in real time applications. Right, guys? This is an introduction to constraints. What is a constraint? Where you can add the constraints, how to check the constraints working or not. How many types of constraints are there? How many methods to add constraints to database columns? These are completed. Now we discuss right now, guys. The first example is first one is not null constraint. Not null. What first constraint? Not null. Generally, once the table is created, by default, If you don't have any column value, simply we dedicate null. Right or wrong? At the time of inserting data, if any column data you don't have, what we did provide? Null. We know the starting sessions, we know we have the two types of nulls are there, explicit null and implicit null, right or wrong? So that is common. But some columns, some columns, some columns data values are mandatory. Some columns database column values are mandatory. Suppose employee ID, compulsory na. Without employee ID, how can you fetch the data? The employee ID mandatory not? Yes, 100% mandatory employee ID. Customer ID, account number. Okay, these are some mandatory columns. Mandatory column values. So at the time of inserting data, by mistake, if you omit this employee number column value, I want to raise error message because nulls should not be accepted on employee number column. In this scenario, on that employee number column, simply we can add not null constraint we can add. That means not null constraint doesn't accept nulls. Nulls are not accepted, guys. Okay. It is supported in column level or order level. Okay. Column level order method only it is supported. Okay, guys. Just we completed, we have the three methods now: column level, table level, order level. Table level it is not supported. It is supported in column level or order level. Okay, what is constraint main functionality? Nulls are not accepted. Okay. That means if any column value is mandatory on the columns, we can add not null. If any column value is compulsory, if any column value is mandatory on that column, simply we can add not null. Suppose how to identify sir mandatory? How to identify mandatory? See, guys. One example, guys. Just a minute. Why this much of a mistake? Okay. Right, guys? Observe this in this window. You entered username, password, and captcha. Click on the login button. But right now, observe this. Here we are placing star marks here. Star, star, star. What do you mean of star star means? See, at the end of the page, mandatory fields are marked with a hashtag symbol. Star represented mandatory. Means you should be input data to these columns compulsory. Understand, na? That is column value is mandatory means in backend database table, the corresponding username password they are added, not in the constant added, sir. That's why if you omit this column value, click on the login button, null goes to backend. Our backend username null is not accepted because already added a not null constant. So we can identify if any column values are mandatory, they give that hashtags. That is means in backend they're added not null constant to corresponding columns. See example, guys. Create a employee database table with employee ID, employee name, and salary. Validations. What is validation? Employee ID column. Mandatory. That is. The employee ID column value is mandatory. The employee ID column value is mandatory, means compulsory. Mandatory means compulsory. Create table. Table name of EID. Number of E name. Then salary. Number of 8, 2. So these are the columns, guys. Okay, guys. But on employee column, we have one condition. Column value is mandatory. Mandatory means compulsory means not null. So here not null we can add. Enough, guys. Because constraint name is optional. So employee ID number of 4 not null given. It is optional. This is a method. Or else we can add the constraint name also. Constraint name is emp underscore db underscore eid underscore nn not null. Small capital both are accepted, guys. For understanding purpose only here I am giving capital letter only. C. Constraint is a keyword here. Constraint name, constraint type. Constraint name is this is the constraint name, constraint type. What is constraint name? Why it is write down in this purpose means employee ID table name underscore column name underscore not null constraint shortcut name is NN. Table name underscore column name underscore NN. Means in real time, if you give that constraint name, compulsory you should follow this rule. Compulsory, sir. Mandatory. 100%. Instead of this, ABC also accepted, guys. But compulsory should be give this format one. That means in future, your colleague is inserting data into this table. By mistake, he forget employee ID. Then he will get one error. Employee ID, employee table, employee ID column, not constraint is raised. Means he can understand easily. Okay, in this employee table, employee ID column, not constraint is there. Okay, right. Now next time he trying to give that value. Right or wrong? Once you give the ABC, he can understand. No. Okay, suppose you are working on existing project, suppose. Product-based company, you are working on existing project. Already somebody has developed the application. At the time of developing application, they give the XYZ, their friend name or something names are given. Now you try to input the data, you got that type of names. Different names are coming. Or understand which column, which type of constraint is raised. Are you understand? No. Means that problem is coming you also. That's why in real time they should be follow this rule. Table name underscore, column name underscore, which type of constraint they are used. Okay, guys. Right. You should be follow this rule. Okay. Copy. Right, guys. Yes, table is created. Okay. All right. Testing. Values of employee ID, employee name, salary. Okay. First record inserted properly. Second record also inserted properly. Okay. What about third record? I don't have third record. I give null. The employee name is Smith is the employee name. Salary 4,000. Okay. See. Error. Cannot insert null values to employee database table, employee ID column. Yes, nulls are not accepted, guys. This is the error message, not null constraint error